So let's talk a little bit about Tennessee and Syracuse. And I do have a graphic that I can pull up. Give me just a
While
second
you're
to get
doing that,
that
I kind
up.
of want to ask the folks, what's your biggest takeaway from week one for the Vols? Be sure to, if you're on Facebook, give us a comment, YouTube, you name it. We got you right here. But what is your biggest takeaway from the Vols in week one? I'm just curious to see what you guys think. But Michael, I'm gonna let you start it up whenever you get that graphic. But what is your biggest takeaway from the Vols in week one?
All right, so I don't know what's going on with that right there, but my biggest takeaway from week one for Tennessee is they're going to be just fine. National media was hating on Tennessee. There we go. National media was hating on Tennessee because of the whole Nico situation, saying that they were going to take a step back because you lost Nico. Now you've got Joey Aguilar. There's the big unknown around him. You're losing pretty much your entire starting wide receiver core. Actually, I mean, because Chris Brazzell didn't start most of the season last year because we still had Squirrel White, so a lot of unknowns there. You're missing your top corner in Jermon McCoy. So there was a lot of questions. People saying 8-4 for Tennessee, 9-3 at the absolute best. Look, Tennessee has got a legitimate shot of going 10-2 this year, and that's not just because of what happened to Alabama against Florida State, which Alabama fans, they have been crazy. I'm not an avid watcher of Paul Feinbaum, but did you happen to hear the guy that they call Legend call
Oh,
into?
absolutely. Basically told him get the hell out of there. I loved it.
Yes. So Alabama fans are losing their minds right now. But no, overall, my thoughts: Tennessee is going to be just fine this year, and they do have a legitimate shot this year once again of making the playoffs.
That's what I like to hear. We got a couple great comments. Allen said the running game is still alive. And I mean, honestly,
Yep.
that isn't my takeaway because I knew it would be. Like, it was refreshing to see. But I'll tell you right now, Star Thomas, and we'll talk about it, but Star Thomas impressed me the most out of all three of them.
Agreed.
I think I knew what I was going to get out of Deshaun Bishop. I was expecting more out of Peyton Lewis, but Star Thomas, in my opinion, was the highlight of the room. Backflip Spaghetti, welcome in. We appreciate having you here. Says, for me, it's the open playbook. And I love this answer because I was literally going back and forth with my father while we were watching the game. And I'm just like, man, these play calls are really good. Like it didn't seem vanilla. Last year, man, I'll just be honest, it didn't. And I think this was a known, but we didn't have any creativity type plays last year. And to see, I mean, just for instance, Star Thomas kind of rolling out of the backfield, catching a touchdown pass, seeing the running backs get in the passing game was so refreshing. Seeing the screen passes was refreshing. Something that we've kind of gone away from, and it's so nice to kind of get those running backs involved in the passing game. Play number one, RPO, pull, slant, 15 yards, and that's how you start a ball game. It was beautiful. I loved it. The play calling was absolutely backflip spaghetti. That's such a good call. Good answer. And I'm going to go with, personally, it's going to be a negative takeaway, but I expected more out of this defense. And I don't know if it's because we got up so big and they kind of was like, oh, well, we got this one in the bag already. I don't know. But I was really expecting this defense to be a little bit better. We got banged up at D-line early and often, so we're going to have to do better at getting healthy. You mentioned losing Jermon McCoy, our number one cornerback. Well, it's pretty apparent that we're losing our now top two cornerbacks for quite some time, as Ricky Gibson has been ruled out for an extended period of time. Josh Heupel didn't really elaborate, so I'm expecting him to be out for weeks. It doesn't sound like it's going to be anytime soon. So,
but on that right there, even though that's a big loss, another takeaway for me is that cornerback room, that secondary in general, it's going to be just fine.
Look good.
Man.
Look good. Colton Hood, Idris Farouk playing, I'm telling you, and there's another one that played really good. Young player, Ty Redmond, played really, really well.
Ty Redmond was, according to, what is it, Pro Football Focus or something like that, he was actually our highest rated defender from the Syracuse game in his first game for Tennessee.
We knew we were going to be deep at the secondary. It's always scary after the very first game of the season and you're already into that depth, if that makes sense. So, but to me, it's just the defense in general. I mean, you gave up 100 yards rushing. You gave up 274 yards passing. That's just too much, in my opinion. Now, Syracuse was in a passing situation literally from the start of the game. So, I mean, they were throwing the ball a lot, but just in my opinion, my takeaway, albeit it is negative, but I just really, really had high expectations for this defense, and they kind of let me down. But overall, the offense definitely picked them up. I mean, we scored 45 against Syracuse, and I was pretty thrilled about that. I mean, you're talking about a team, and I get it. They lost some players, but as every team, they go through the turmoil in the offseason. They picked up some good players as well. And this team went 10-3 last year. They put out Miami, right? Miami was destined to be in the playoff, and Syracuse had none of that. I mean, they had a really great game against Miami and ended their season basically. And so to go in their neutral site, Atlanta, and get the big win over Syracuse was so refreshing. But I do expect better out of the defense in time to come.
Yeah, I agree with you. So, let's get into it, and we won't go super in depth because then we will be talking about it all night. But let's just kind of go position by position, and we'll obviously start off with quarterback, man. Joey Aguilar, breath of fresh air, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned it right off the bat. RPO, 15-yard pickup, but it wasn't just that. It was he knew where he was going with the football right away, and he. Obviously he did airmail some throws. A lot of them, some of those quick outs that, just didn't quite get his feet set, didn't get his body around.
It was early in the game. I think he had some
It
jitters.
was.
I'll be honest, because he was throwing high pretty often there early in the game.
Yeah, and if
Had a lot of drops.
anybody saw my TikTok as well, here's my biggest takeaway from Joey Aguilar. That is a difference from Nico. So if you remember last year with Nico, when he would struggle during a game, he never adjusted. He just continued to have the same problems throughout the game. Nothing ever got fixed. Joey,
Arkansas.
Yeah, exactly. Joey on Saturday, he struggled a little bit early with some of those overthrows, but then he adjusted. And even though he did have some drops as well from the receivers on passes that should have absolutely been caught,
Chris Brazzles was abysmal, bro. Like it literally
that had touchdown written all over it.
I
Because
know.
all he had to do was he had to make one defender miss, and he was off to the races. But yes, he had some drops. But after he had some of those overthrows there towards the beginning, he adjusted, he settled down, and he looked like a different quarterback from that point on. So that is my biggest takeaway from Joey Aguilar is this guy's going to be just fine. And we saw the offensive playbook open up. We had a comment in here about that. It was Backflip Spaghetti here. He said the open playbook there. I mean, how many times have we seen one of those deep shots come in a game like that one to Braylon Staley over the last couple of years? I mean, we've seen Nico and Joe throw those over the last couple of years, but it's either been forced or you're just missing guys. Joey knew where he was going with that football. He put it on a dime, and Braylon just caught it and took it right in. That was so refreshing to see.
Yeah, I mean, Joey definitely – he wasn't a game manager. I mean, this guy went out there and played ball and ran the offense as it should be. I like the fact that even though he's only been in the system for a month, basically, for fall camp, he was going through his reads. I mean, he was one, he was two. If it wasn't there, he even took off and ran. I mean, how often did we see that last year? Those
I was going to say,
plays?
How refreshing is that to see?
So to see the off-script plays, I mean, the Star Thomas leaking out of the backfield for the touchdown was literally an off-script play where he extended the play, kept his eyes down the field because he could have ran, may not have scored the touchdown, but definitely got positive yards. But no, he instead put the ball up in the air, let his teammate go make a play, and that, I mean, it's just so good to see it. Like what I'm seeing out of Joey Aguilar, he's a playmaker, and I think. Yeah. Everything we said in the offseason saying, like, look, we don't need you to be one. We just need you to, like, run the offense and let the defense win games. I think Joey Aguilar has already won us a game this year, and I think he's going to continue to do so.
Yep, I completely agree with you, man. So, I mean, I am not worried about the quarterback position after game one.
No,
that was going to be all right. I mean, we had questions.
Mistakes are going to be coming, though. I will say this, absolutely. To be negative, there was a play over the middle and in the red zone that he was locked on his target from the moment he said hut. And if it wouldn't tipped at the line, probably could have been picked. But, hey, football is football. It got tipped. It was incomplete. And we learned from that. So he's still got some plays where he knows where he's going before the ball snapped, and we got to get that out of him. I know you can have a hot route, and I get that. But if it's not there, we can't lock in on that. But other than that, like I said, mistakes are going to come. But as of right now, I love what I've seen out of Joey.
Yeah, absolutely. Running back position group, there's not a lot to say because they pretty much performed exactly the way that we thought
Come on
that they
now.
would. It is a three-headed monster that we're going to see all season long. We're not going to have one single guy that's going to go out there and get us 100 to 150 yards a game. You literally, in the stat sheet here, you see our three running backs. Star Thomas, 92 yards. Deshaun Bishop, 82 yards. Peyton Lewis with 38 yards. And that number is so low just because when he was out there for his turns, it was either Joey Aguilar hitting the big passing play or a short field where he doesn't get as many touches, things like that. The numbers right there, the 8 carries for 38 yards, that doesn't tell how good Peyton Lewis was out there when he was running the football.
Yeah, he runs mean. I mean, just his
Yes.
touchdown run alone. I mean, he literally ran over a safety. I mean, he got into the end zone. I think he could be a little bit better with his vision.
Yeah.
Bishop and Star Thomas, in my opinion, are able to have a little bit more vision. They can see the gaps a little bit better than Peyton Lewis. But I love the fact that Peyton Lewis don't dance. I mean, he's such a downhill back and he's fast. So I think with that experience though, with him getting some actual game time, meaningful, he's only going to get better. And I mean, I still am going to stick with it. Peyton Lewis, in my opinion, has the highest ceiling of this room.
He's got the highest ceiling for sure. But for me, I'm also going to piggyback off of what you said earlier. I think Star Thomas this season might end up being, he's going to be your best overall back. He's going to be that guy, in my opinion, that if it comes down to crunch time and you need somebody to go out there and make a play, Deshaun Bishop is great. Peyton Lewis is great. But Star Thomas, with his experience, and he's one of those guys where he's a downhill runner. He's going to hit the hole. He's a mean runner as well. But he's also got a little bit of finesse about him. And
he's elusive.
He's got some breakaway speed as well. He's very hard to bring down. He is very dynamic in the passing game as well, as you mentioned on that touchdown grab that he had coming out of the backfield. So I think Star Thomas is going to be that guy that when you need a play to happen, he's going to be the guy in the game to make that play over the other two backs.
But he's also elusive to make people miss. I mean, that spin move he had while he was running downhill was nasty. I mean, to be able to do that running full speed is insane. So I love how quick he is, how elusive he is, can make a guy miss. Peyton Lewis and Bishop, they just run through contact, and I love that, especially in short yardage situations. But as far as those highlight plays, those chunk plays, Star Thomas is definitely it.
Yeah, completely agree with you. Wide receiver group, you know who might be your best receiver this year? And it's not just because of the deep ball, but your best overall. I knew you were going to say it.
It's because he's in the slot. It's because he's in the slot.
Exactly.
That's all it is. It's Braylon Staley, for anybody that doesn't know.
He also impressed, man. He really did. Braylon Staley, in my opinion, is probably going to be your best overall receiver. And you mentioned it. He's in the slot, so that helps him out some, especially in this offense.
I think Mike Matthews is still going to be good. I mean, I feel like Brazel is like he's like the brew, in a way of like he's your veteran now, and he's always going to be your go-to guy, because I do feel like Joey went to Brazel a lot. But I do feel like Mike Matthews one-on-one is still your better athlete in terms of beating that one-on-one every time. Gotta catch the ball. Gotta catch the ball. But I'm telling you, like the times he did catch the ball, he almost every time made that first guy miss, and he was gone for another 5 or 10 yards. So I think Braylon Staley's set up for the best position to succeed. But I still think Mike Matthews might be your best talent in the room.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. And, you mentioned it, got to clean some things up, got to catch some passes that, you've absolutely got to catch. I mean, Mike Matthews had one hit him in the hands. He just turned too early trying to get upfield. Chris Brazel had one hit him in the chest on that slant pass that he would have taken for a touchdown if he made the man miss. So some things to clean up there. We'll get into this in our preview segment. I'm super excited this week to be able to see some of our younger guys. Yep. You got Radarius Jackson. We didn't really see a lot of him. You had Travis Smith. Is that his name?
Yes, Travis Smith Jr.
Yeah, Travis Smith. He got in the game. He had one pass thrown to him, and that was the one that Aguilar unfortunately sailed over his head when they were inside.
They got playing time. I was going to say they got playing time. They just didn't. They couldn't haul in their catches, which is not necessarily their fault. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But they got some playing time, and yes, you're going to see them a lot more this week, hopefully.
Yeah, but in my opinion, the receiving room is going to be fine this year. You've got more talent overall in this room this year than you did last year, and I think you got more versatility as well.
Yeah, I
So,
love what I'm seeing out of the tight end room as well. Miles Kitzelman, just a dog.
mhm.
But also what they do blocking. You've seen a lot of 12 personnel, one back,
How
two tight end,
yeah, and
and
how
they
about the
block
improvements? The improvements that Ethan Davis has made in the
blocking.
run blocking.
And that's only going to get him more playing time, and in time is going to get him more receiving yards and catches and whatnot. Look, I'm telling you, they've obviously made improvements. Ethan Davis is definitely the size and the talent that you want in that room. Just needs a little bit more experience, and he's getting it now. And I think Miles Kitzelman, as good as he has been to the team, he's been pivotal for Ethan Davis, for a guy that he can kind of learn behind and whatnot. And definitely need both of them for the rest of the year. Is we do run a lot of 12 personnel, and I love to see it though. I mean, obviously it was early on in the game. They were doing a lot of motion, which I love this. I'm telling you, the offense is so wide open. But they you knew it was going to be a downhill run, but they kind of motioned the tight end sideways to where they were kind of already running before the ball was snapped, to where Ethan Davis and Miles Kitzelman just straight downhill, almost like fullbacks, were blocking right in front of the running back. And that play, it was just so beautiful because it was almost guaranteed at that point. So love what I've seen out of the tight ends. Kind of knew what we were going to get out of that room, and it's just they backed it up. I love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then something that gets overlooked each and every week from teams, but in my opinion, probably the best overall position group this past weekend. Offensive line, man.
They did
0
great.
sacks.
Dude, Joey had all
0
day long.
sacks. Yes, he did.
And when he didn't, he extended the play. He did great. So
yeah, and the biggest thing, I'm blanking on his name, but David Sanders, had a small injury happen during the end of.
They just moved Jesse Perry from guard over to tackle.
Jesse Perry. Perry. Thank you.
A guy that's been practicing in the guard position all offseason.
Yes.
Bounces out to tackle. Pendleton ended up winning center. We thought it would be William Satterwhite. That's not the case. But then Sham Uveroff just picked up right where Jesse Perry left off, and he took over the guard. And it was almost so natural.
It looked like they'd been doing it all fall long.
That's what I'm saying. It was so good to see, because when unfortunate for Sham, but whenever David Sanders is healthy, Perry's going to go back to the guard position, and Sanders is going to be the offensive tackle. Pendleton's going to be your center. But no, it was so good to see how I don't even know. I don't know how to explain it, but you could just move your offensive lineman around, and it doesn't necessarily matter. There's a word for that. I'm blanking on it, but that's different in and of itself. I mean, most guards can't play tackles. Yeah, I mean, most guards cannot play tackle. It's just a different footwork, different body style. But Jesse Perry made it work, and I don't think he's been getting enough credit for it. But he's got it here on this show.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, offensive line looked fantastic this past weekend. And most of the time, if you're not talking about an offensive line, that means that they're playing good.
Right.
If we're talking about them, that means that there's issues there. But you know what? We're going to talk about them this week because of how well that they played against Syracuse. I mean, we're not going to understate that.
We need that against Georgia, 100%. We need a lot of this against Georgia. But what we haven't touched on is that defensive side of the ball real quick.
Yep.
I'm going to start with the highlighted group, and that's the linebackers.
Oh, man.
Come on.
Arion Carter, Jeremiah Thielander, and Edwin Spillman.
That play by Arion Carter where he dekes the quarterback by faking like he was going to go cover. He basically took one step and then beelined it straight to the quarterback. You had three offensive linemen looking dumb trying to block one dude while he just comes scot-free right up the middle, and it wasn't even close. I mean, that play was beautiful.
It was such a sweet play that if you listen to the broadcast from Mike Keith or Ramon Foster, you hear Mike Keith with his sack, and in the background you hear Ramon go, just such a sweet play there. But yeah, Arion Carter just highlighted that defense. Jeremiah Thielander doing his thing as well. And what about the diving interception that he had after the McMurray pick?
Good.
That was sweet. And then, man, Edwin Spillman, those three guys right there could literally go and they could start for.
Did they all three have a sack? Or I
Let
guess
me
Sealander got
look.
the interception, but I know for a fact Edwin Spillman and Arion Carter had sacks.
So T-Lander did not have a sack, but he did
Okay.
have a TFL and he also had the INT. But yeah, Spillman had a
I
sack
mean,
and so did Arion Carter. I mean, those three guys there played fantastic. Now, here's what I will say. This is where, in the third quarter, Syracuse started moving the ball more. We started putting in our backups, had backup linebackers in.
come on, Ben Bolton,
You,
do better, dude.
I was
Lock
gonna
in.
say,
Let's go.
had a little bit of a drop off there. Had to bring in Jeremiah T-Lander again to kind of fire him back up. Ended up getting a stop later in that drive. So that's one thing that is kind of a downside is, if any of those three guys go down, or let's just say, God forbid, two of them go down, it's a big drop off after Edwin Spillman, who's our first guy in, to our fourth guy.
Well, I mean, I
So
agree with that, but I think that speaks to the level of talent that Arion Carter, T-Lander, and Edwin Spillman are at. I mean,
I
they
agree
are
with that
just
as well.
they are elite, and that's something I love about what they're doing on the recruiting trail is they are going to be. What is going on? Hello. Sorry about that. No, the what they're doing on the recruiting trail. I mean, getting two of your top 5 linebackers in this last year's class that's going to be signing coming in December. I mean, a big position of need, obviously, to backfill. But as of right now, like you said, I mean, the biggest goal, especially going into ETSU, and we'll preview this, but I mean, obviously, is to get healthy, stay healthy, get your starters out as quickly as possible, and go from there. But no, linebackers definitely was a highlight for me.
Yeah, defensive line. I mean, they played well, but there's some injuries there. They also, I don't know if it's because of the injuries or what, but it didn't seem like we had as deep of a defensive line as I was expecting coming into the season.
Yeah.
But they're going to be fine overall. Now, one guy that really impressed me in this ball game that was basically a nobody coming in, Nate Robinson. He played his butt off in that game, and then had the forced fumble that
Got a game ball at the end of the year. Yep.
yeah, that Colton Hood picked up and took back for the touchdown. He had a fantastic game. I mean, Jackson Moy, I think they said he's going to stay out of this next game just to make
As
sure
he
he's
should.
healthy for Georgia.
As he should.
Did not see Jordan Ross a whole lot in the game.
But he did make a play.
He did make a play. I mean, overall, the defensive line is going to be fine, and that is because I've got trust in Rodney Garner, man. But,
yeah.
But,
Need to stay strong at the nose and the D line because we have gotten into the depth of that position pretty heavily, but our Leo positions are still really, really good.
Oh, just like we predicted, Joshua Joseph is that dude.
Yes, but now I will say this: can't give up containment on the run game.
Yes.
We did that a couple times against Syracuse. Can't let that happen. Can't let that happen. That's basic fundamentals of a D line, of a Leo edge position. But we'll work on that. I'm sure they're going to hit the film room pretty hard on that. And I think it's just they got excited wanting to run rush to the quarterback, and they just gave up contain. So got to work on that. But other than that, man, they're playmakers.
Yeah. Secondary, man, they played absolutely fantastic.
They did.
Jalen McMurray, he really stepped up and he showed out in this ball game. You got Andre Turrentine had a really good game, and that was good to see because there's been times in his career he has struggled, but he definitely needed it. Idris Farouk, I've been singing his praises all offseason. He played well. Colton Hood, he is that dude. That is why I'm not as concerned losing Ricky Gibson, even though that's a big loss.
He's handsy, dude.
Yes.
I think in the SEC, probably going to get caught a lot, but
probably. But I think that
definitely aggressive.
I think when you do get Jermod McCoy back and you got McCoy on one side and Colton Hood on the other side, dude, those are two just elite.
We need them
defensive backs, man.
We need them back.
See, Caleb Beasley had a pretty good game.
He did.
Boo Carter. So
he got a great game.
I feel like he played a little bit better than people think. He just
missed a couple tackles that were right in the face, I guess. I don't know. But he had an okay game, but in my opinion, he wasn't a difference maker for sure.
He definitely was a difference maker, which is why people think that he probably didn't have a great game. You're right. He missed a couple of tackles he probably should have as well. How much of that goes to the practices that he missed where, maybe he wasn't there with the team, things like that. we'll
I
see. I
don't
mean,
think
it's
so. I'm not about to make excuses for the guy. He had plenty of
yeah,
he had plenty of practice for this game per se, but I think his role will continue to increase
yeah.
as the season goes along.
But
But I
Ty-
think it was refreshing to see that he's got to earn it.
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's folks behind him that are fighting for that playing time, and if he don't lock in, it's absolutely gonna they're gonna take it.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, but Ty Redmond, already mentioned him. He's going to be a dude as well. So this secondary group is looking good. Defense overall, my biggest complaint is the same one that we have had since Hypel and them got here. It's when you play in the zone defense, you're giving up way too many open looks in the middle. And
yeah,
I know that it's typical in a zone defense that there's soft spots in that zone, but you can't have those soft spots be right in the middle of the
yeah,
field.
you gotta credit Syracuse's quarterback too. I mean, he
You
came
do
from
as
Penn
well. Yeah,
State or Notre Dame, one of them.
yeah,
And he did a good job because we brought some pressure a lot, and he was able to dump the ball in the middle, like you're mentioning, and fighting against the blitz. And that's the risk you take as a defensive coordinator, Tim Banks, when he's drawing up those plays, and they just had a good counter to him. I love the aggression by the defense, but it's going to leave a man open at times, and you got to credit Syracuse quarterback for capitalizing on some of it. But that goes back to our defense bending, not breaking. Now they obviously gave up 26 points, and that's 26 points where I'm not going to call them garbage time. We were up 17-0 after the first quarter, and I almost know for a certain we freaking let up after that. We can't do that. But I
agreed.
think a defense that locks in a little bit better. I don't think we give up that. I think the gotta have it situations on defense. I felt like we did a lot better at, except for like the long late down and distance, like the 3rd and 10s and the 4th and 15s that we were giving up was very frustrating.
Yeah.
But if we can clean that up, man, our defense will be just fine.
Now, here's what I will say. Yes, you're giving up those big soft spots in the middle of that zone, but let's go back and look at the 2021 defense, the 2022 defense, and our defenders were giving that up, but also missing tackles a little down. Here, you're giving up that middle of the zone, but you're making the stop, giving up a 15 to 20-yard play instead of giving up a touchdown. So that is a positive, I guess, moving forward with that, but you still don't like to see those big gains in the middle of the defense like that.
That's right. That's right. You got anything else on the recap here? I mean, overall, Tennessee looked good. I think the questions on offense were answered. Even though it's Syracuse, I think still is an okay team. I think at the end of the year they may be 6-6, 7-5, but overall a Power 4 conference opponent that's got talent. I mean, it's not like this was LIU or whoever. Yeah, Long Island. I mean, it's not a nobody, right? Like Syracuse is a name brand, and there's talent on that team. And Tennessee went out there and throttled them like as if they weren't. So I love to see it. And we'll learn from Syracuse on this week. I think they have a decent opponent. We'll see if they can bounce back and get a win. And if they do, then we do know that, hey, this was a quality opponent. But I think Tennessee took care of business as they should. They get to come home this weekend in just a couple of days, and we'll get to see them on home turf for another glorified scrimmage, if you will, and get locked in ready for Georgia next week.